Numbers are one of the primary tools used in business. The ability to read, comprehend, and manipulate numbers, fractions, and decimals is an essential part of the everyday activity in today's complex business world. To be successful, business students should become competent and confident in dealing with numbers. The number system widely used in the world today is known as the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, or decimal number system. This system is far superior to any other for today's complex business calculations. The decimal system is based on tens, with the starting point marked by a dot known as the decimal point. The decimal system uses the 10 familiar Hindu-Arabic symbols or digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The major advantage of our decimal system over previous systems is that the position of a digit to the left or right of the decimal point affects its value. This enables us to write any number with only the 10 single-digit numbers 0 through 9. For this reason, we've given names to the places and positions. In this presentation, we'll work with the places to the left of the decimal point, which are known as whole numbers. When whole numbers are written, a decimal point is understood to be located at the right of the number. For example, the number 27, as you see here, is actually 27 point, or 27 with a decimal point to the right. The decimal point is not displayed until we write a decimal number or dollars and cents, such as 27.25 inches or $27.25. This figure illustrates the first 15 places and 5 groups of the decimal number system. Note, our system is made up of groups of 3 places, separated by commas, each one with its own name. Whole numbers start at the understood decimal point and increase in value from right to left. Each group contains the same 3 places, ones, tens, and hundreds. Note that each place increases by a factor of times 10. The group names are units, thousands, millions, billions, and trillions. Approximations or rounded numbers are easier to refer to and remember. For example, if a grocery store carries 9,858 items on its shelves, you'd probably say that it carries 10,000 items. If you drive 1,593 miles, you'd say the trip was 1,600 miles. Another rounding application in business involves money. If your company has profits of $1,302,201, you might refer to this exact amount by the rounded number of $1,300,000 or $1.3 million. Money amounts are usually rounded to the nearest cent, although they can also be rounded to the nearest dollar. Rounded numbers are frequently used to estimate an answer to a problem before the problem is worked. Estimation approximates the exact answer. By knowing an estimate of the answer in advance, you'll be able to catch many math errors. When using estimation to pre-work a problem, you can generally round off to the first, i.e. the leftmost digit, which is called rounding all the way. For example, 2,865 rounded all the way is 3,000. Addition is the mathematical process of computing sets of numbers to find their sum or total. The result or answer of the addition is known as the sum, total, or amount. The plus symbol represents addition and is called the plus sign. Subtraction is the mathematical computation of taking away or deducting an amount from a given number. Subtraction is the opposite of addition. The amount we are subtracting from the original number is subtracted, and the answer is the difference, sometimes called the remainder, although difference is preferred. The minus symbol represents subtraction and is called the minus sign. Multiplication is the combination of 2 whole numbers in which the number of times one is represented is determined by the value of the other. These 2 whole numbers are known as factors. The number being multiplied is the multiplicand, and the number in which the multiplicand is multiplied is the multiplier. The answer to a multiplication problem is the product. Immediate answers are called practical products. In mathematics, the times sign, represented by the symbols times or dot or a parenthetical statement, is used to indicate multiplication. For example, 12 times 8 can be represented with 12 with the times or x sign times 18, 12.18, or 12 in parentheses with 18 in parentheses next to it, or 12 with 18 in parentheses next to it. Note, the raised symbol dot is not a decimal point. Division of whole numbers is the process of determining how many times one number is contained within another number. The number being divided is called the dividend, and the number being dividing is called the divisor. The answer is known as the quotient. When the divisor has only one digit, as in 100 divided by 5, it's called short division. When the divisor has more than one digit, as in 100 divided by 10, it's known as long division. The divide by symbol, or division, is known as the division sign. For example, 12 divided by 4 is read 12 divided by 4. Another way to show division is 12 with a /4. This is also read as 12 divided by 4. Fractions are a mathematical way of expressing a part of a whole thing. The word fraction comes from the Latin word meaning break. Fractions result from breaking a unit into a number of equal parts. This concept is used quite commonly in business. Just like whole numbers, fractions can be added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided, and even combined with whole numbers. Technically, fractions express the relationship between two numbers set up as division. The numerator is the number on the top of the fraction. It represents the dividend in the division. The denominator is the bottom number of the fraction. It represents the divisor. The numerator and denominator are separated by a horizontal or slanted line. This means divided by. Reducing a fraction means finding whole numbers called common divisors or common factors that divide evenly into both the numerator and denominator of the fraction. For example, the fraction 2 divided by 4, or 2 over 4, can be reduced to 1 over 2 by the common divisor of 2. When a fraction has been reduced to the point where there are no common divisors left other than 1, it's said to be reduced to lowest terms. The largest number that a common divisor of a fraction is known as the greatest common divisor. It reduces the fraction to the lowest terms in one step. Adding and subtracting fractions occurs frequently in business. Quite often, we must combine or subtract quantities expressed as fractions. To add or subtract fractions, the denominators must be the same. If they're not, we must find a common multiple or common denominator of all of the denominators in the problem. The most efficient common denominator to use is the least common denominator, or LCD. By using the LCD, you avoid raising fractions to terms higher than necessary. The least common denominator, LCD, is the smallest number that is a multiple of each of the given denominators. We often find the LCD by inspection, i.e. mentally, or just by using the definition. For example, if we want to find the LCD of 1 over 4 and 1 over 6, we think or write out, if we wish, multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on. And multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so on. By looking at the two lists, we see that 12 is the smallest multiple of both 4 and 6. Thus, 12 is the LCD. Sometimes, especially when we have several denominators, or the denominators are relatively large numbers, it's easier to use prime numbers to find the LCD. A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 that's evenly divisible only by itself and 1. The following are prime numbers: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, and so on. By definition, decimal numbers, or decimals, are amounts less than a whole, or less than 1. They are preceded by a dot known as the decimal point and are written 0.31 or 0.31 as an example. The 0 is used to ensure the decimal point is not missed. Often, decimals are written in conjunction with whole numbers. These are known as mixed decimals. In mixed decimals, the decimal point separates a whole number from the decimal, such as 4.31. The place value chart shown here expands the whole number chart we talked about a few minutes back to include places representing decimals. In decimals, the value of each place setting at the decimal point and moving from the left to the right decreases by a factor of 10th. The names of the places of the decimal side end in THS. They are tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths, and so on. To read and write decimal numbers in words, you must read or write the decimal part as if it were a whole number. Then name the place value of the last digit on the right. For example, 0.0594 would be read as 594 10,000ths. In reading and writing mixed decimals, the decimal part should be read as end. For example, 81.205 would be read as 81 and 205 thousandths. If the decimal has a fraction at the end, simply read them together using the place value of the last digit of the decimal. For example, 0.121 would be read as 12 and 1/2 hundredths. When a dollar sign precedes the number, the whole number value represents dollars and the decimal point represents cents. The decimal point is read as end. For example, 100.479 with the dollar sign in front of it would be read as $146.79.